located in New York City and northern New Jersey, under the direction of Chabje Ling Rinpoche and the subdirection of Venerable Thupten Lunda Khenser, Rato Khenser Thupten Lunda, which you know him as Nicky Vreeland. Anyway, so twice weekly presentation of the Buddha Dharma, and we're doing the Lam Rim slowly, and various commentaries, so you don't get bored. All the prayers we say are on the website in the FAQ section. Scroll down. If there's someone whom you wish us to pray for who has passed away, and I know we have one name already from Jane, put their names in the chat box now because there is a time delay. So we'll start with prayer for the spread of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness. May they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. Thus have I heard once, the Heart Sutra, by the way. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi which examines the dharmas, called profound illumination, and at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, "How should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge?" And Avalokiteshvara answered, "Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, to look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Form is empty. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus, all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva. O Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family. Profound, transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, Asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Refuge in Bodhisattva vow, which is called Generating Bodhicitta, we say these verses 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until may I to remain, to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. And now, as is traditional, we do one round of Om Mani Padme Hum. And this is a simple practice, reciting mantras, but it's a very important one because each mantra puts an imprint on your mind. Imprints on your mind is what makes your future lives do this or that. So you can't do anything else. Your mind is crazy, you're upset, you're just recite mantra. Mani Padme Hum, or whatever you like to say. So one round. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, what's on the menu tonight? Roast meditation. No. We're up to the part where, in the Lamrim commentary, we've been following Practicing the Path by Yangtze Rinpoche. We're up to the meditation, how to set up a meditation session, how to do meditation. So I thought I'd have His Holiness chime in also, quoting Sankapa and everything. This is from His Holiness's presentation of the Lamrim, done in 2012 at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. Were you there? Yeah. So you must have memorized the whole talk. You got it.
I think it was earlier than 2012, though, wasn't it?
Allentown, right? That was in Allentown.
Yeah, I think, what? Lehigh University. This
Long, like week-long rim teaching.
212 is the copyright, let's see what it says.
The book came in 212, but I think it's 2011.
2011? So it took all right, whatever. It's a while ago. It's not, but it's timeless. Who has the tape? Let's see the tape. This is from page 68. This book is given a Hollywood title, From Here to Enlightenment, starring His Holiness. Very good information. Very, very good, and very precise and timely. As he explains how to rely on a spiritual teacher, Tsongkhapa lays out what to do during a session of formal meditation practice, presenting the 6 preparatory practices and the 7 branches of worship. 7 branches of worship, 7 limbs of puja, whatever you want to call it, which we went through previously. He then explains how to behave in between periods of meditation, which for most people is the longer period. So, it is important to have a balanced diet. Okay, take care of yourself. He doesn't recommend any dishes, but that's all right. And to use even sleep as a time to strengthen your practice. Everyone knows how to do that? You do. The last thought before going to sleep directs the whole sleep. So all that time is virtuous. If you fall asleep within a thought of let me be of use to sentient beings, nothing else, whatever is best to sentient beings, that's 8 hours or 6 or whatever you get of positive thinking. So that's a quick way.
So, like, I'm tired, but I sleep for the sake of all sentient beings.
Brava. Exactly. Chung Rinpoche always said it. Yes.
And I think also could be a rehearsal for the dying process.
It could be, if you feel like thinking that way. Because as you go to sleep, you pass through the subtle layers of mind, but that's tough to do.
Using a practice for dying?
Yes.
Like
The dissolutions, they call that. As the mind dissolves into subtler and subtler and subtler levels, the 8 dissolutions. You go through them in a minor way when you go to sleep, and when you wake up, you go through the part of being reborn. Sometimes when you wake up, suddenly you see some light stuff or something. That's similar to recovering, coming out of the body.
So they say
That's a heavy practice. I mean, you really have to be a person whose awareness is always on and sees as the mind is doing this. Go ahead.
So they're saying not to be distracted by those like colors or illusions.
Oh, that's in the Bardo.
That's in the body.
There gives all kinds of advice. That
Right.
it goes beyond me. And I always ask Rinpoche, what should we do? He said, well, if you're a good practitioner, you would do the sadhana, the highest yoga level, highest yoga, Anuttara Yoga Tantra sadhana, method of accomplishment, which reiterates the death process and the rebirth process. You got to be really good. So if you're dying, what's the best thing? Compassion. Let me be of use to sentient beings wherever I go. Let me be. He said, that never fails. You're a great yogi, yeah, you could, okay, now I visualize I'm this and that, I'm doing this and blah, blah. Yeah, but for the rest of us, or at least me, I can't speak for anyone else, a good solid thought of let me be of use to sentient beings, let me go wherever it's best to help others. How could you lose? You suddenly have everyone in creation on your side because you're on their side. So all that merit is towards you. It's very interesting. Simple things that could really help. And you don't have to be, a great scholar that goes to Losaling or wherever they go. Sarah J. That's it. It's very simple. So you have to go to sleep every day. So just check in as you're going to sleep. But of course, every time you try, the neighbor screams or something. It's a car accident on the street. Somebody's cursing out. Well, that's New York. But you're already bored with that, so you won't pay much attention and you watch. Yeah, there are Well, we'll do the death state sometimes. I always do that once every semester, whatever we call these things now.
The death process.
Death process with its different books and stuff. But the main thing is the 8 dissolutions that happen at death. At death, you have a very subtle mind, and if you really know what's going on, you can turn and become enlightened for Buddha, if you know.
I like that. So
Yeah,
tonight,
we all like that.
I'm gonna go to my near death.
Better, I'd
I'm
like
gonna go to bed.
And I don't mind paying someone to take care of it for me, but it seems that nobody's around to do that. So anyway, so sleep, of course. We have to go to sleep. The main thing is your intention. You said it. I'm resting to be of use to sentient beings. What could be better than that? Well, that's it. And then your mind goes here and there, but still, that's your main motivation. So,
We have a digitized version of Rinpoche teaching on that, two classes.
Chongla Rinpoche. Oh, really? So that's at the
It's online.
Where is that, Mark?
I think you can find it in the archive section of the TibetCenter.org.
From the year.
Were you picking up his voice?
See it?
Are we picking up the audience voice? Because I don't see a mic out there.
It's the camera right there.
Oh, the camera has a mic. Okay, good. All right, so important to have a balanced diet, sleep at the time. You should guard the gates of your senses and live with mindfulness, with care. That's an art. That's a practice. Always know what's going on. So the little thing, spy sitting there, what are you doing? Oh, well, why did you say that? What's wrong? Hold on. That's a useful little annoying voice, but you cultivate that. A relaxed awareness of watching the movie of your life. And then, oh, hold on. Don't say it. Shut up. Don't talk. Things like that are very helpful for you. Those little voices. Big voices. The point is that the actual formal sitting sessions and the periods in between sessions should be complementary. Right. And you should, whatever you're studying, you should sit and meditate on. You're not studying death in the intermediate state and then meditate on compassion over it. That's why the Lamrim is set up sequentially. Be consistent, and then both periods of life will complement each other, and you'll, progress faster. I will not touch coffee. Learn to use 24 hours every day to foster virtue through one means or another. You can do the 24 hours, you sleep 8 hours, you go to sleep with a virtuous mind, you got 1/3 of it already taken care of. You're in business. Nobody wakes up early in the morning, this goes on from page 68. Nobody wakes up early in the morning thinking, today I really should have more trouble. That's what I need. We don't have to, that's automatic, it's taken care of. I ought to have more conflicts and anger. That's what you. Instead, we think, today I hope for a very peaceful day, a free and happy day. Nonetheless, we see many problems. On this planet, with 6 billion human beings, this is then. Now there's 8, and it's only been what? 15 years, something like that. Wow. See, on this planet with 6 billion human beings, nobody wants trouble. No one. But there is still plenty of trouble, most of it caused by us human beings. Don't blame the foxes and the owls or whatever. This seems very clear. We really do want what is good, but our minds are completely dominated by afflictions. Now we hit the nerve. That's the problem. These mental afflictions are based upon ignorance at many levels. Important point, many levels. Deep, subtle, surface, whatever. Including the ultimate ignorance and coarser levels of ignorance. These ignorant, deluded minds simply do not know reality. Deluded minds look at things from just one angle and decide, oh, this is bad, or this is good. Limited, especially when you get angry, you forget everything like impermanence and everything. So you're going into the situation wanting to solve it with an idea that everything is permanent, and this is that, that's over here, I'm over here. Everything is dual and stuff. How could you solve a problem? You're dealing in unreality. Your mindset is not dealing with what's real. All right. Until we see emptiness directly, then we'll be dealing with what's real. But in the meantime, bear that in mind. Meditation means learning to control our minds, thereby protecting our minds from domination by delusion and other afflictions. So we have to control our minds or they control us. Agree? Not agree? Good. You get an extra $5. Hey, Doc, how are you? Good evening. Let's see. These mental afflictions are based upon ignorance at many levels, etc. Meditation means learning to control our minds, etc. We may think, oh, I wish my mind were not dominated by ignorance and other afflictions. We might say this to ourselves. I wish I did. But these afflictions are very powerful and very destructive. They operate despite our wishes. We want this, but they're more powerful. We have to understand that, the nature of the enemy, the beast within us. We have to work to develop effective countermeasures. We cannot buy such remedies from a store, and even very sophisticated machines cannot produce them for us. They are obtained only through mental effort. So there's the word. That's it. That's your work cut out. Mental effort is the answer. To produce a more intelligent mind, etc. Training the mind in meditation is the mental effort we have to do. Meditation means making our minds familiar with these countervailing forces, becoming habituated to them day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, and even lifetime after lifetime. That's the long haul. We're in it for that. It's a marathon. Remember, we're running the marathon, not a fast 400 yards or something. But that's how you could take suffering from other people. Right now, we can't do a good job. We do our best, but we can't. If we become Buddhas, we can take care of things. No. Shut up. Gradually, these countervailing forces become strong, and as they do, the afflictions automatically recede. Why? Because they are incompatible with these new mental states. There's no room for them. You disavow them. You're not happy with them at all. The two are contradictory in the sense that they cannot exist together. You build up the positive, the negative immediately goes away. So don't fight the battle. Getting rid of the negative. Build up the positive. Is this a reply to your query?
I don't think so.
Well, Carol's in hospital at least till Tuesday. Which Carol? I don't know. Or the other Carol? I don't know. I guess so. I don't know a number off by hand. Oh, well, poor Carol. Yeah, please. The term, the Tibetan equivalent, now he's going to explain the etymology of the word. The Tibetan equivalent of the term meditation is gomba, like Goomba in Italian. Gomba. My mind is weak, so at least these things make me nuts. What? Leave it there. It's all right. Yeah. So gomba is the word. It is bhavana in Sanskrit, which suggests deliberate, that's the key word, deliberate cultivation and familiarization. There's an effort there. It's not, yeah, I'm going to lay back. It's not spa cuisine or spa trip or anything like that. You know, I feel good now. Deliberate. You're alert. You're relaxed, but you're very aware. This is the key to good practice, relaxed awareness. A lot of times, awareness to a lot of people needs tension. Oh, that's what. You have to develop the art of being very sharp while still normal blood pressure, normal heart rate, relaxed. It's a skill you develop. Like Mark developed running scales and then could play whatever he wants. That's the same thing. That's our job. You can do that anytime. You don't have to buy special equipment. So, generally, the deliberate cultivation and familiarization. Generally, the Tibetan verb, gompa, means habituation or becoming familiar, but as gompa is an active verb, indicating an agent who deliberately carries out a particular type of familiarization. So there's a deliberate effort here. That's what's included in that term. It's not going to come to you. You got to go get it. It's already here, but you got to go get it and find it. The course of our action is dictated by our minds, and our minds, in turn, are dominated and dictated to by the afflictions. Congratulations. On this account, even though we wish for happiness, we end up with suffering. We can vouch for that, right? We are very familiar with and habituated to undisciplined mental states, ingrained over many lifetimes. That's right, we're fighting habituation for many lifetimes. Such mental states seem spontaneous and natural, like getting angry, like that, immediately. Why? Because we're habituated to it. We're not habituated to taking an aerial view of the situation. Here comes this comes that. Oh no, I'm going to react this way. No, we're in it. When we meditate so as to develop antidotes, we are going against the grain, which we think is natural, but it isn't. That's where logic comes in. That's why you sit back and say, wait a minute, it can't be that way, even though it feels like it should be this, because this, oh. That's why they debate, why they study a lot of texts, etc., to make their understanding firm. Because you have to have a firm understanding of what deeply is, and not what you think is. So you get the idea. Not what we project reality by. It's very easy to go that way, but what really is reality. The problem we have is there's a disconnect between the way our minds are naturally going along and the way things are. So we want to be happy, this is the key, but it takes work. But it doesn't cost anything, it's free. So you don't have to travel to an exotic place. You have to travel in. When we meditate so as to develop antidotes, we are going against the grain. We are learning new skills, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. So at first these antidotes are very weak, but over time they become strong, and as they do, the afflictions become weaker. That's it, one or the other. Afflictions are tremendously diverse and incredibly opportunistic. Whenever there is an opening, they find one way or another to manifest. Think of our lives and see. It's true. Yeah. So it's important to understand them and to recognize them, to know how they appear in our minds. We have to be ahead of them. Again, relaxed awareness, what's going on. What is this tape that's running now? Mm-hmm. For example, we tend to regard attachment as a friend. Haagen-Dazs, yes. It is a quality of our mind that tends to pull others towards us, so it helps us bring together conditions that we deem helpful for survival. Anger and hatred are mental states that arise in relation to an obstacle. We tend to feel that they are there to protect us against things we don't want. Yeah, anger is our friend. It's going to protect us. It's going to let us know. Think about it. Never mind what's there. Think about it. We regard them as trusted friends safeguarding us. Attachment and anger are friends. Well, we're familiar with them. They've been around. They live with us. They don't pay rent. Throw them out. Responding to the diversity and ingenuity of the afflictions, we need powerful and diverse antidotes. The Buddha taught 84,000 heaps of teachings. The literature explaining these teachings includes huge numbers of extensive treatises. There is a single ultimate aim behind all of these teachings, and what is that? To help us find peace of mind, in the fullest meaning of the word. But we need a vast array of teachings and practices because the afflictions that disturb us are so diverse. Also, they manifest differently in different individuals. If we examine the afflictions themselves, how they function in our minds, and the internal and external conditions that give rise to them, then we are better prepared to develop antidotes. We seem vulnerable to afflictions when we're sad, we're hungry, we're a little sick. We have no patience at those times. We don't want to look at things carefully, intellectually. So be aware of that. When you're in those states, don't attempt anything too much. Be aware that you're not operating with full power, so you're ahead of these things. So when you're a little weak or not thinking careful, just leave me alone, all that stuff. Be aware of that, and that's what's going on. And you're gonna, best to be away from people that cause you trouble, stuff like that. You learn this over time by yourself. That's how. They can't come in, Buddha can't come into your mind and start directing the show and then leave. Okay, I'll let you alone now. You know, no. I wish. I would pay. You would pay. Then we're better prepared to develop antidotes. We know it's gone. It is not enough to recognize the destructiveness of the afflictions and then make a wish for them to go away. We do that. But that's not enough. He's saying it's not enough. He's not saying don't do, but it's not enough. At least you're developing a will not to be under their control. Remember Rinpoche talking about someone who's in a fight and pinned down by his opponent. He can't do anything, but at least he can go like this, clench his teeth. So he's not going, obeying this action against him with a full mind. Somehow there's a wish to get up. That's important. So that's something like what he's saying here. We have to be deliberate in cultivating their antidotes. Again, the deliberate part of the word gumpa. We develop antidotes to the afflictions through a series of levels. Wisdom derived from study, or hearing, or reading. The first initial thing, like we're doing now. Wait a minute, what is he talking about, all this? Anything. Second, wisdom derived from reflection. Whatever we hear, we start to counter. What does this mean? What is that? As always, what does he always say? Not yes, yes, yes. When I say this, I say that. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Why? You have to yell out why, but in your own mind, why is he doing this? Then more meaning is released. And it's homemade meaning. So you're very familiar with it. And it gives you confidence. It's not somebody told you and you sit there and repeat. It's stupid, We're so smart. We're not stupid. And third, wisdom derived from meditation, where you really so familiar with it, it's part of your being. So that's the 3 steps. Wisdom derived from study comes from listening to a teacher or studying a text. In these ways, you can develop an intellectual understanding of the characteristics of the afflictions, the appropriate antidotes for each. You sort things out, and that takes a long time. When you first hear all these teachings, what's going on? Wait a minute. It takes a while. That's why you keep the books around, you read a little a day, take a small bite. Because these books are not meant to be read like a novel. A little piece. Think about it. A little piece. That's actually the fastest way. You think you're going to read this right away in 2 nights, and then and then tell everybody, I read the Long River. No.
And every time, Lamrim, you've been repeating Lamrim so many times, but every time is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
He even mentioned
this.
this.
More and more, and then,
Yes, the text is the same,
Right.
but the mind is different. The mind reading it is always changing. And in a way, the book is reading you. Oh, now I see what he means now. Oh, you got an idea, and now I'm making some progress. It's not just strange things. Tringler Rinpoche would give us stuff to read. No, you read again. You read many times. What does His Holiness say? At least 9 times you get 9 meanings. They like the number 9. What? You like 9? Was it 8 times again? 8.5.
I just like multiple meanings.
You like multiple meanings.
No, that's funny, but that's...
It's true, though.
That's true.
Yeah. People talk endlessly about seeing, Casablanca 40 times, and you really get like, what a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Try this 40 times. Studying something like this,
It's like Rinpoche reading Shantideva 100 times.
Right, before he gave that talk, it was 87
Wow.
in Indiana. We had to go there for 10 days. And in March, it was in July, and His Holiness said, yes, you should go and teach that, but read it 100 times. He was already in his late 60s or something, I don't know what he was then. And a Geshe, a Larampa Geshe, and number 10 into reincarnation. He read it 100 times. I remember this was read like 100 times. Come on, I can't do it.
Shantidev's ways of life.
Yes, 100 times. He had me reading the 10th chapter twice a day when Marie died. So I just kept doing it. Oh, you should read. Any you should read from him, you read. Usually follow. You don't know. You should read. Well, you know, I have Simon to thank for that because he gave me explicit writing. He interviewed him and said, "What should Tony do?" And he ding, 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 ding. Amazing. So Simon can do no wrong. Unless he stops getting the Benny Hill Tonka. He puts that on the side burner. That's a small Benny Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I commissioned the Benny Hill Tonka at the time. What? Yes. So that's the idea, those three things. Yeah. Hearing, reflecting, meditating. So when you read or listen to something, you can develop an intellectual understanding of the characters of the afflictions and the appropriate antidotes for each. An intellectual understanding. There's levels of understanding. On the basis of this intellectual understanding, you must then reflect critically. That's where Buddhism is different from a lot of approaches. You don't accept, you criticize mentally. You don't get stand up and go, Buddha's wrong. No. You know, reflect critically and repeatedly, deepening your understanding because it releases meanings when you walk around it and check, like you're buying a car or something. You know. So deepening your understanding to have a genuine sense of conviction about the efficacy or the usefulness of the antidotes. Yeah, like when you finally going to buy this or that car, I don't know, finally you say, yeah, this is the one. That's certainty, that's important. Then the mind is more on track one way. It's not, well, I don't know, when you're like, not firm in one direction in your mind, there's not a lot of power there. But when you have conviction developed by understanding, you move faster, you develop faster, I think. So far I haven't, but that's me. Up through the second level, reflecting, hearing, reflecting, your meditation is primarily analytic. This is a big point. As you engage in critical reflection and meditative analysis, you have to use reasoning based on 4 principles, these being the 4 avenues by which we engage with reality. How do you engage with reality? 4 principles he's going to give it. Are you ready? Get those cards and letters ready. The principle of nature, the principle of dependence, the principle of function, and on the basis of the first 3 principles, the principle of evidence. These are 4 things. You come in from the cold and you want to examine something. Here's how you do it. Or come in from the hot weather, I don't know. For example, investigating the mind in terms of the principle of nature. What's the nature of the mind? What's the nature of fire? To burn. Something like that. What's the nature of water? To be wet. That's what they mean by nature. I forgot the word in Tibetan. Once it was told me, I had to memorize. I can't remember where I put my keys. So that's the principle of nature. We find that it is characterized by being clear and knowing. The mind. What is its nature? It's clear and it knows things. Clear means it can reflect whatever it sees or hears. And it has a function of knowing, not just a dumb mirror that reflects, but it knows. You can work with it. That's the conventional nature of the mind, by the way. What's the ultimate nature of the mind? Yay! Everybody awake? Not me.
So you're saying the 4 principles?
Nature, dependence, function, and then on the basis of those, evidence.
Okay.
This is a big topic. I have to find more things that fleshes this out because this is a good way to start thinking even about things in life. Regular non-dharma things.
I thought the nature of our mind is suffering.
That's a condition that's temporary. It can't be the nature of the mind. Nature is something that's there, always there. Water is always wet, fire is always burning. But the mind is suffering for a samsaric being. Buddha's mind is not suffering. The young's mind is not suffering. Until she makes tea and drinks it, then oh, really.
It's always there conventionally, right?
That's the nature of the mind, clear and knowing, the conventional nature of the mind. This is a big divide. We have to get used to it. It's very hard. We need more. There's a lot of good books now that we have to find these little sections and plaster them into our heads. Where am I? So, it's find it's characterized by being clear. And again, we're talking about the mind. In terms of the principle of nature, we find that all mental states change moment by moment. Oh, that's true. The mind doesn't stay like this. Unless you're a yogi, you can put his mind more, but it's still changing moment by moment because time is going on. So it's there. They are transient, our states of mind. Evanescent. However, when you're mad, it looks like that never goes away. When you're seriously depressed or something, obsessed by something stupid, seems not to go away. That's not true. Moment by moment, it's changing, but we don't want to look deeper and see that. That would free us. We wouldn't be in the jail of seeing that the situation we're in. It's always this way. I feel that way, but that's not the way you should think. What time is it before we run out of time? Oh, good. Wow. We're never going to get to the Yangtze to Rinpoche tonight. His Holiness is taking center stage. So we can vouch for that. We know that states of mind change. Within the mind, we see operation of incompatible contradictories. Within the mind, we see contradictory things going on. For example, we know that hatred and anger towards someone are contradictory to loving kindness and compassion towards that person. These opposing forces contradict one another so that we cannot have both feelings at the same time. Now, love them or you hate them. Can't do both at once. Difficult. They can't occupy the mind at the same time. They're opposites. You can love somebody and 2 minutes later, you'll scream, husband and wife, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times. All right. Because remember, everything changes. Don't lock yourself in the jail of permanence because it's not there. You got to get out. You're already out. These opposing forces contradict one another, so can't have both feelings at the same time. They are like heat and cold, opposing each other so as to preclude coexistence. It can't be hot and cold at the same time. Even if you're a thermos. Hot things stay hot, cold things stay cold. How does it know? Wait a minute. All right. The ideas of incompatible contradictories is again part of the principle of nature. This is how we train our minds to start thinking smarter. When based on analysis of nature, you then analyze cause and effect relationships. This is the principle of dependence. Cause and effect equals dependence. This causes that. And what is cause and effect doing? It's always operating. Whether we like it or not. Things are caused. I always with the same story of His Holiness contradicting a science. He was presenting something at a science conference, and he said this particular atom or something appears and then doesn't appear. We don't know why. There seems to be no reason. His Holiness says, no, there's a cause. Because if it appears sometimes and sometimes not, then it's caused. Otherwise, it would not be there ever, or it would be there all the time. So something's there all the time, right? Wasn't caused. It's never there, wasn't caused. But things wink on and off, there's causation. We can do that in our own. Go ahead, you want to say something? Oh, we can think that way. Cause and effect is very important. It runs the show. Recognizing these causal relations, you can come to understand the specific functions of different mental states. That each thing, in this case, each mental state, has its own distinctive function, is the principle of function, the third one. We'll go over this because I'll find other stuff on this. It's a big topic. in Buddhist philosophy. It appears in different places.
So he's talking about these all in relation to the mind.
In the mind, yeah. Because that's it. Then, understanding these three principles, you can use logical evidence. Given that such and such is the case, something must logically follow. Okay, it changes, etc. Okay. And they always say in debate, it follows that, it follows that. So, make friends with cause and effect. It's very important. Don't think it comes from nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Everything is cause. Yeah, time flies. And we all got older. How did that happen? Using these four principles in analysis, you can bring to bear the correct antidotes against each affliction as it arises in your mind. We should feel good about hearing this because we don't have to be under control of this insanity, this craziness, these moods. We have to put the psychiatrist out of business by following this advice. Based on this sort of analytic meditation, you can then move to the third level, wisdom derived from meditation. You see how careful they are before they go to the third level. This is it. I'm really certain this is how it is. Now you hold it. You drop the analysis. You hold that meaning in your mind. As it dissipates, you bring it back again with the reasons. And that's how it works, back and forth. You do this when you like somebody, or does this, he does that, blah, blah, blah. So all of a sudden, no, you're there. And then it wears out. You bring it back in again. All your obsessions are this way. You want that Lamborghini, you think how great it is, and this and that, and you don't think of the insurance and everything else, but you get obsessed. But then that's how our minds work in general. So be aware of that. You have the tools now to make your life a little less claustrophobic and crazy, etc. So here your meditation becomes more in the nature of absorption and less analysis, which we just discussed. I like the word absorption. You're sort of seeing the meaning and joining it, absorbing it, becoming part of your being, like absorbing food or something. The primary approach is to maintain a single-pointed placement of the mind upon a fact, and there goes my hands trying to work, you have determined in analysis. So whatever you analyze, etc., you came to a conclusion, I'm certain that's it. You hold that, and more meaning comes in. And then it affects the mind more. Deep down, the more subtle levels of the mind are being told this, and they're grabbing it. Less crazy thoughts come up, more logical thoughts come up in your mind stream. So, through meditating on this fact with single-pointed attention, this fact becomes even more evident until you have attained wisdom derived from meditative practice. These are the steps through which we transform our minds. A nice little practice tip from His Holiness. Some questions from His Holiness. Do we have time for that? Yeah, it's a little entertainment. Set it to music. We've got 10 minutes. Your Holiness, you have said that we relate to events based on our perceptions rather than based on reality. He's calling you out. We need to differentiate our perceptions from reality, but how will we know reality without being influenced by our perceptions? What do we do? And the answer is, I don't know. No, he didn't say that. He said generally, if you look at a single thing or event from only one angle, then you cannot see the full picture. In order to understand an event, you have to look at it from various different angles. You have to look from different angles. Even in the case of a physical thing, knowing only one of its dimensions does not give you the full picture, let alone a mental thing, but a physical thing. With 3 or 4 or 6 dimensions, then you can get a clearer picture. Like when the doctors want to see a different scan so they can see around 360 and determine, yes, I don't have this or that. Good. So they can guess from one dimension, but it's not certainty. Then they get the full picture. They give you a scan that circles your body. Okay, good. What I suspected. Right. Something like that we do in meditation. Get certainty. Even in the case of a physical thing, blah, 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 blah. In this way, with all things, you have to examine them from various points of view along various dimensions. Seeing just one aspect, there is always a gap between appearance and reality. This is why investigation is critical. Only through investigation can we reduce the gaps between appearance and reality. It's the only way. So, take the advice, what's appearing to us may not be reality. Most likely it's not exactly reality. All right, we all know that Penn Station's over there, this is over here. Yes, at a certain level. But deeper than that, there's a deeper reality underneath that. Earlier I used the reality and appearance. I used the words reality and appearance, His Holiness says, within the context of the two truths. How can we get at the root of our suffering? What is the root of our mental afflictions? The root is our grasping at the true existence of things, what we think is there. Truly existing. Existing as it appears is true existence, one of the definitions. And he's saying, no. We haven't seen the other side, so what do we know? But we know inherent existence, that's it. But we have to break out of that mold. So, the deluded mind grasps at true existence, engaging the events of the world primarily in terms of how they appear at the level of perception. Never mind how we think of them, just the perception. Things appear in a certain way, and then the mind grasps them as though that appearance were the actual reality of the thing. When you recognize that appearances do not accord with the way things really are, then you can gradually weaken the grip of that grasping. So we all find things in we all speak inherent existence, right? We all know where we are. This is that, that's this, etc. You get your job when you do this and tell them that. Well, he's saying there's something more. One more question. Your Holiness, a person asks, as a beginner on the path, still taking just baby steps, do you have any words to help me establish a meaningful daily practice that will lead me forward to greater awareness and understanding? Nice question. A lot packed into a few lines. Answer, read more. Did you hear that before? You should read. Our teacher always said that. You remember. There are translations of Buddhist texts into English as well as French, German, Spanish, and of course Chinese. They were there before that, before the English ones. Although, I still think there are fewer translations into Chinese than into English. There are many new translations into English. Read such texts daily for an hour or at least half an hour. Then turn your mind towards and contemplate what you have learned. Again, for us, I always take small bites. It's my thing, because that's my mind. Half a page the most. That's enough. There's enough. Good stuff, though, not somebody's memoirs of what he did or didn't do, Then turn your mind inward and contemplate what you have learned. Examine and investigate, comparing what the text says with your usual way of thinking and living. Rinpoche would say, you read half page, close the book, and see if you can repeat what the author said. That's meditation, like we would do that, he spoke. Close book, okay. Open book again, close book again, till you get it. The author's meaning. You don't have to think, just rote repetition. No, the author's meaning. Because they would ask people to memorize, and they'd point to text, starts, and then they'd ask, what does that mean? Not just that you could parrot back. So, in monasteries, they did that kind of learning. You do that with the kids in school. See if you get away with it. All right, John, get over here.
So it's always good to memorize.
Well, they memorize a lot with young children because it's easy for them to memorize. And then it's ingrained in them. And then, for instance, they memorize Al-Bisamaya Al-Makara, about the steps, explaining the Prajnaparamita. They memorize all that before they even know what it means. Mm-hmm. But then the terms are familiar. They don't shrink away from that. And so they could start a conversation with the children as they become 10, 12, through the grammar school years. They still do that today.
It's always good to have the children, the little kids.
Well, yeah, if you can, but the rest of us, I didn't become a Buddhist till I was 30, and it shows. So, investigate, comparing what the text says to your usual way of thinking and living. Well, I don't think this way, but the text says this. It is best to do this in the morning when your mind is fresh and you don't have to go to work right away and you're looking for your shoes or something. But that's what happens in our lives. Maybe after breakfast is even better. At least For me, it's like that. Before breakfast, I'm hungry. Sometimes when I meditate, half my mind goes to my stomach. So eat something. Don't have any distraction. Take this approach, study, and then take what you have understood as the basis of your contemplation, spending some time each morning in formal meditation. Combine understanding of what you have studied with meditative practice. This approach brings together learning, critical reflection, and meditation. The 3 steps, they appear again. That's it. You know, our lives are a little rough. He's up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's meditating for a few hours. Maybe he has hot water. So I think he knows his schedule. But all right. Bless his heart. He should do it forever. But we have to work around this. We have 15 minutes at work in the break room or something. A little something, you know. And then come back lunchtime break room or something. You get a habit going. Use the power of the habit. You know. Oh boy, we've got 4 minutes. So, any names, Jerome?
Jerome Berman.
Jerome Berman. People who have died we're talking about. Anybody else? Celebrities? Deeds? There's someone who won.
Yeah, it was.
Musicians?
Yeah, sorry. Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Malcolm Jamal Warner. Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
He's an
It's
actor.
on the Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show, yeah.
Okay.
He's in his 50s, right?
54.
Yeah. Well, I hope he's reborn high, and we'll make sure that he is. Oh, sincere. Sutra the Recollection of the Noble Three Jewels. It's in the FAQ section. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sang Buddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him used without disharmony, he brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatana is uncontrolled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats, who arises in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the Mukti where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The Holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavad teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight of the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Yama, they enter the
the protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata, pure the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous liberating from our world's. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma which teaches, having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are wholly filled with merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha and Buddha. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the foolishness are inconceivable. May they be born and completely pure.
Now the Lojong teaching, 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, who surpass the even wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as I have found a precious treasure difficult to find. And when others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to be that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my others. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as light illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. For the swift return of Ratachanga Rinpoche by His Holiness Dalai Lama, exalted wisdom of all figures gathered in the rock, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one precious honor most, Guru Zan Tuan Doji Chan. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the last waves of aspirational prayers. Lord of speech, undergive those Sangha's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holy and commitment, I would like all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the four bodies that serve the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you to cyclic existence end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of your Manakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhisattva drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel, return as the glory of Lama Tempe. Magnificent truth of 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayana, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. So this concludes the class. Our next Dharma class will be Wednesday at the Parsonage in South Orange. You want to come there, you're more than welcome. Instructions on how to get there on our website. And this Saturday we have White Goddess, White Tara Goddess Tara Long Life Practice at 1 o'clock. Again, in South Orange. Instructions are on the website. And after that, we have a lot of cuckoo. No, we have refreshments and food, etc. The young says there's too much cuckoo. I agree, but it's part of the game. It's the function. Well, thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you.
对不起，谢谢你。